Hey, morning and greetings to you. It's the EV Café News at 10 o'clock. A cheeky 30 minutes of what's happening in sustainable transport, brought to you by me, Paul, and Drax Electric Vehicles. A massive amount of EV knowledge, plus Paul and I. Anyway, how you doing, mate? Are you well?
I am very well. I've just spent my working morning in the garden. What could be better than doing that? Yes.
Goodness gracious! And were you titivating something? Were you weeding? What were you up to?
What was I doing? I was using my laptop. I was on the phone. I was doing all of those wonderful things, talking to the world.
As he does. Right, shall we crack on? Because we've got a lot to cover today. Grab a cuppa and plug into what's happening in clean transport this week. And coming up, the government sets out flexible electricity plans. This is going to be good, and everybody might get what Octopus customers get. Interesting. Could London lose its global EV crown? Industry leaders, including Uber, raise the alarm. We take a trip into that story. The UK transport industry is not achieving gender equality, say the two middle-aged, middle-class white males. What more needs to be done? And a survey shows that fleet efficiency is a key motivator for the use of AI. Is it too soon, too much? Or are you embracing AI? But first up, it's the Commercial Clap, where we highlight innovation and new things in our industry.
The Commercial Clap from the EV Café.
Innovation applauded.
Now, unusually this week, we have 4 commercial claps. We just don't care. The clap is taking over, I'm telling you. I know. Nothing worse. Anyway, MG Motor UK and Great Wall Motors GWM UK have launched their own variants of the electric vehicle grant following the UK government's announcement of its own scheme. MG says it wants to produce its own support following the announcement of the government grant and would immediately offer buyers of the MG4 and MG-S5 EV a grant of £1,500. The MG grant will be over and above any incentive currently offered by MG's 155 UK dealers. And in addition, GWM's offering its own £3,750, which it said it doesn't believe customers should, and I quote, have to wait for the government to decide which vehicles qualify for the EV grant. So it's taken matters into its own hands. A bold step, and maybe they know something we don't, like they ain't getting the grant. Anyway, let's move on. 1 in 20 car miles is zero emission in the UK, and that in itself should be celebrated. But the best and slightly surprising news from this recent research that I've seen is that battery electric vehicles comprised 3.8% of the national car fleet, yet undertook 5.3% of all car mileage. Now, it doesn't include hybrids. Before you start and jump on your high horse, purely battery electric. Less than 4% of the fleet, over 5% of car mileage. That surprised me. So well done, everybody who's driving EV. And what's happening to the £400 million funding after the Rapid Charge Fund was scrapped? Well, you may recall the Rapid Charge Fund of £950 million was scrapped recently because nobody was doing anything with it, and was replaced by £400 million to roll out charging infrastructure. Less specific and more flexible. Well, I've been doing some digging. £25 million's been earmarked for cross-pavement charging. Paul, stand by to be excited. 30 million has been earmarked for depot charging to support 3,000 van and 200 HGV charge points. And £8 million for electric NHS vehicles at 200 sites. Hurrah! Targeted intervention where we need them. And the final story. It's only 5 weeks to the EV rally, and I'm getting very excited. I've already had my kit out, and I've cleaned it and polished it. And oh, yeah, it's very exciting. Anyway, I'll be there with Sarah Sloman, as usual, with the media crew, and Paul will be there too, as will the official logistics partner Verizon, who are supplying fully electric SV vans as support vehicles, with 4 SVs also taking part in a rally. The 900-ish mile rally from the 1st to the 5th of September will showcase the breadth and capabilities of EVs for fleet and business, and Verizon SVs are available from £40,000 with the plug-in van grant. Here we go. A beautiful battery bargain. I wrote that myself, you know.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Right, let's get on with the news, shall we?
Well, hang on. I just want to say, with regard to the commercial clap and that last thing, I'm going on the Verizon vans. I'm driving one of those and taking around members of the Fleeterati, the glitterati of Fleet. And that'll be fabulous. I'll be doing all 5 days, and I'll be getting very annoying for you, JC, because you're doing all 5 days too.
I see you used Fleeterati, I'd used Chatterati in your van. Anyway, the UK government has set out its plans for a more flexible electricity system as it aims to enable customers to take advantage of low prices when clean energy is abundant. Consumers will have the opportunity to switch to flexible tariffs and use smart appliances to automatically get rewards and cheaper power at non-peak times. It follows products already available to consumers, you know, the eight-legged pink thing, such as smart charging for electric vehicles overnight, which can save as much as £330 per year in costs. The Clean Flexibility Roadmap will now allow EV drivers to get discounts on electricity when using public chargers at off-peak times, as well as requiring suppliers to make information on smart tariffs more accessible to consumers and taking the next steps to help consumers access tailored products and services based on their electricity usage. According to the government, such support to use off-peak electricity could produce £70 billion worth in estimated savings by 2050. Now, this is a welcome pulling of the levers to support customers. But it's a tightrope for CPOs, though, because they've got to cover their investment, drive utilisation, and deliver value to drivers and fleets. Paul, do you welcome this initiative?
I do welcome this initiative. Anything that brings a level or a degree of price parity between those that can and those that can't is always good from my perspective. And any money that can be poured into those situations where, you know, necessarily people can't necessarily charge at home and all that good stuff. You know, the bottom line is this transition to electric needs support, and you know, Octopus have led the way. They have shown some tremendous innovation and initiatives. And I think it's good that the government are learning from industry and doing something similar. You know, trying to sort of kind of create that environment of innovation.
Are they forcing the hand of CPOs, do you think? Because CPOs have long said, oh, well, we can't reduce prices because of the investment we've made, blah, blah, blah. And here we are having government saying, well, actually, you can do it and we will open up the marketplace to provide cheaper electricity for people.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, you know, that... Is it the step before perhaps legislation comes in to say you can only make X amount? And we know from our contacts in industry that you know, being a CPO is not easy. It is a lot of investment up front. It is expensive equipment. The grid upgrades are expensive and all of that sort of stuff. But also we're seeing others adopt a different attitude. So, you know, First Bus charging 39p in their Glasgow depot for people using it. We're seeing Mylance come with, you know, 39.9p plus VAT. AW Energy 39p. You know, we're seeing there's a trend coming that is much, much lower. We're now seeing, you know, Instavolt offering 50 and 54p in off-peak and peak times and different tariffs. The prices are coming down and they're going to a place where I think is more reasonable, and maybe investors are now realizing that this is not you know, a ground grab and a money grab, but it's a long-term thing.
Absolutely. Utilisation is really, really key in making the business case stack up for CPOs. Right. Now then, you mentioned Mylance, and I wanted to just give a heads up. If you haven't listened to the podcast with Sarah Papamichaelis from Mylance on the EV Café Takeaway, you really got to plug into that one. I tell you, she is fabulous as a human being. Wonderful, but as a mine of information and just common sense. Wasn't she brilliant, Paul?
Oh, do you know what? I read her LinkedIn, and I really would encourage you to read her LinkedIn. It is just a celebration of people that really like care about this person. And I saw one. It said, I only worked with her for 6 months, but I would run through a wall for her. And after about 10 minutes, I was like, yeah.
Show me a wall.
I'll join you in running through that wall. Yeah, give me a wall. I'm going for it. She was great, and I mean, we get a lot of wonderful people on the podcast, and many people, really just got that energy and that passion and that sort of stuff. But it was the empathetic leadership and just seemingly little package of joy that that she sort of seemed to bring into our little world on that day. It was great.
Indeed. Yeah. And if you have any suggestions of innovation, entrepreneurship, pioneership that you think we should be talking to on the EV Café Takeaway, drop us a line. Let us know. hello@evcafe.org, or alternatively, hit us up on LinkedIn. We really do want to talk to the very best people. Some of them are, like us, big mouths and have got lots to say. Others, they shrink back a little, but still have great stories. Let us know who the leaders are in our industry, and they ain't just the bosses. We're talking about people who actually make a difference. So if you know anybody, give us the nod. Thank you kindly. Right, it's time for the shout-outs. And this breaking news. Breaking news. Steve Warts wasn't first in this morning. Gary Comerford obviously had a midnight emergency. 6:30 this morning. He was up early. So Gary Comerford was the first one through the door. James Hobson, Screamwash King, he was 8:02. Not bad. Yes, Paul.
I'm just going to apologise. For some reason, I don't know why, I can't highlight the comments. So I apologise, everybody. I can't highlight your comments, everyone. For some reason, it's just not working. So, sorry.
There is currently a vacancy at the EV Café.
I had one job.
I'll tell you what. Who would you throw into the EV Café if you could? Just a name. Give us a name. Some poor soul, and we might get them along. And Belinda, Guy, don't forget, we made you the offer. You can come on because you were our 1,000th YouTube follower. Belinda is in the house, and now we suddenly have. We have titles.
Yeah, that's Joe.
Right.
So producer Joe is doing that. So producer Joe, please do continue. Thank you. We will work it out for next time.
And producer Joe, you start on Monday. The salary is dreadful, but it's great fun. Stuart Humphrey, lovely to see you this morning. Dev Chakravarti, Daily Electric Vehicle, he's in the house, just back from Canada and reporting for duty. What's it like in Canada? Are they very anti-American? Do let us know. Ian Mayhew, he's got a slightly sore head this morning, self-inflicted. No sympathy from me, but I'm sure that it was worth it. Teresa Swift, always lovely to have you here, dear lady. Michael Barton from Bristol. He's 2 Bs. And then 2 Mugs follows him. Ashley Bannister. Good morning, Ash. Hope you're well. Dave Bushnell. South Cotswolds. Posh boy. Belinda 1000 is in the house, as we've mentioned. Mark Smith, MBA. Welcome. Lovely to have you here. And Jamie Fretwell from the aforementioned Verizon. Lovely to have you here, and lovely to have you on the rally. Can't wait for that. Oh dear, Belinda, guys, 1,000 out of 10. That's just showing off. That is seriously showing off.
Keeping the theme.
Indeed. Now, yeah, if you got 1,000, so 1,000 Centurion. So, 100 is Centurion. So 1,000 is Millennium. Is that right?
Well, 1,000 is a millennium, but I mean,
yes.
I don't know if it's. I don't know how.
Belinda
it works.
Millennium Guy. That works. Rob Dustin from Poole. Hello. Lulu Bonbons O'Hagan, she's here. Hello. Sarah Sloman is in the house, although not formally in the house. I think she's in the house, if you know what I mean. Thank you for being here. Alex Latimer from a sun-kissed Gateshead. YI, how's it going? Do you know what? I was thinking about PJ and Duncan this morning. Wasn't that weird? Now, there we go. I don't know why it was PK and JC, and I was trying to work something into the script about PJ and Duncan, and it just fell on its backside. Anyway, Dave Bushnell, can't remember if I've said hello to you, but hello. Electric Van Man, what's he doing here? Good gracious.
I know,
Ben
right?
McDonald. Morning from Margate. Oh, I love the alliteration here. This is good. Mike Stainton. Good morning, Team EV Cafe. Sorry for joining late. Never apologise, dear man. You arrived when you meant to. Lovely to have you here. Ron Godfrey. I'm here. Hello, Gazer. John Dixon. Morning, gents. Good morning. And we're going to be talking about gents. Too much gents. And we need more femmes, not more gents. That's what we're saying. Now, Joseph Dilworth. I think that's name of the week. Joseph Dilworth. present and enjoying the bulletin. And we are enjoying you, sir. Thank you for joining us. Liz Allen, she's in the house. And I'm joining her in the shower, apparently. Oh, jeez. Paul, I can see you're desperate.
Did we miss Mike Stainton?
I think I probably did. In my excitement.
Well, morning, Mike Stainton. So Mike does a lot of the PR for Verizon. So he missed, because he joined late. He's a very naughty boy. He missed the wonderful bits of Verizon. So you're going to have to watch that back, Mike, for your moment in the limelight, because I know that you had something to do with it all.
And we can always make sure that we make that available, should you wish. Lulu O'Hagan worked on Biker Grove. No way!
No way!
And yeah, there you go, see? And Wayne Dunn. Morning all. I see we have the twin bald peaks host.
I like you.
Yeah, thanks, Wayne. Cheers for that. Right, shall we move on?
There's a little bit of fluff there. Look, little, not much. But
there's not much grows on a busy street. Over 25 leading businesses and green groups have published an open letter to the Mayor of London, Sir Sadiq Khan, calling for bold policy action to sustain London's global leadership on electric vehicles and protect air quality gains. The letter is signed by the AA, DPD, Openreach, Polestar, Royal Mail and Uber, green groups including the Centre for Net Zero, Green Alliance and Greenpeace, and the Union, the GMB London and GMB Southern Regions. It highlights that the Mayor's policies to date have put London at the forefront of transitions to EVs, but the planned rollback of one of the city's most powerful tools for improving air quality, the Cleaner Vehicle Discount, could jeopardise this position. Currently, the Cleaner Vehicle Discount allows EVs to travel through the congestion zone for free, and this has encouraged thousands of London's businesses and residents to invest in going electric, delivering cleaner air for the entire city, with a staggering 90% of the clean air benefits felt outside of the central area. So overall, everybody wins, which is interesting. These gains are now threatened by proposals to roll back the discount and introduce new charges for electric vehicles. It feels, Paul, a little counterintuitive to me. It works well, the clean air zone. It delivers results for Londoners, and then they want to change it. Got thoughts?
Got thoughts? Heck yeah. So when this was first announced, I was furious, and I happened to be in a room with Richard Bruce the day after. Now, Richard Bruce, for those of you who don't know, is he's sort of the director of the DFT, broadly speaking, and also shortly after that, probably a week later, I was in front of Lillian Greenwood, and in both cases, they didn't know anything about it. And what I know, right? But I mean, this is it was a serious point. You know, these are important people that don't know me and wouldn't know me from Adam. But you know, I rock up anywhere and go vans. And vans, of course, you know, were benefiting. They regularly go into the city. If they go there, that's where their business is, and they have to take their vehicle. It's not a choice. So with cars, it's a choice. With vans, it's not a choice. It's a tool for the job. And so with that in mind, they're doing this, that, and the other. And they would have been paying £105, 7 days a week, or £75 just for 5 days a week to enter that zone. Moving electric means that they don't have to. So they can live with the extra cost of the vehicle. So there is an extra cost of the vehicle. Maybe even the inconvenience of charging sometimes, because there is some charging around the city, so you could do that. But then to take it away means that, well, why am I bothering with this blooming electric malarkey when I can just jump in a diesel and it doesn't cost me any more? Now, the pressure. So I signed a signatory thing, petition. That's it. I know, right? I was never very good at school, everybody. So I signed a petition, and this letter is a follow-up to that petition, and it's really important that the mayor listens to this, because it will have a detrimental reversing effect. Now, we have already seen a softening with a possible discount, but I still don't think the discount is quite it. I think they should separate cars and vans. Do it for cars, because cars is not essential. Vans is essential. They have to be there. It's not a choice. Make those provisions stay.
Absolutely. 10:20. Well said, Paul. 10:20. It seems that everybody's going to Canada. Ian Mayhew's off to Canada for 3 weeks from the 8th of August. Good to know if you're a burglar. And
I know where he lives.
don't know why. Go round and get his beer store. And I just wondered, idly, if people are travelling to Canada rather than America at the moment. Let us know in the comments. Alex Hansford, good to have you here. Great job, everyone. You're so right. Gary Cupboards thinks you're a name dropper, Paul. And, you know, he would be right, wouldn't he?
He drops names all over the place. I mean, can I just say, go listen to his podcast and then decide who is the biggest name dropper. I think
Here is a man.
It might be one Mr. Gary Comerford.
Indeed, a man who said, I can't tell you too much, I've signed an NDA, but in a galaxy far, far away. Dear
That
Lord.
is one of the best lines ever in the podcast. Can I just also say we've had one late arrival from Mr. Peter Heath, and the reason he's late is because he's forgotten it was Friday, because he thought it was Saturday, because he's in a field camping. There we go.
Oh, now that is so
right.
right. Well done, Paul, for remembering that. Yes, he is in a field. Do tell us that you're all right, mate, and that you haven't just been hoofed out of PLP for a week because they got sick of your chat. Right, okay, let's crack on. The UK transport industry is failing to make progress on gender equality, according to the 2025 Women in Transport Equity Index. Results from this sector-wide survey indicate a significant lack of improvement or reversals in some cases across key areas of inclusion, pay equality and leadership progression since 2023. And I mentioned America earlier, and I wonder if this is having the Trump effect on DEI and making sure that we do give everybody equality of opportunity. Responses were provided by participants from 100 public and private organisations from a range of UK sectors: rail, road, logistics, maritime, cycling, consultancy and government. And the key findings were women make up only 27% of the workforce. The sector's overall diversity, equity and inclusion score has dropped to 47% from 50%. The percentages not really relevant. The fact is that they've gone backwards for me, and that's not good. 59% of organisations report a gender pay gap of 11% or more. How do you justify that in any way? I don't get it. And as a dad of 3 daughters, sort your life out. And UK organisations, 65% have no plans to close the pay gap, up from 44% in 2023. Now, as I mentioned earlier, as 2 middle-aged white middle-class men, we're not best placed to comment. But Paul, put your comments in the chats, people. But Paul, we've got to do better.
We do have to do better. I find this a very difficult subject as a middle-aged bald white man. You know, it's difficult because I am 100% behind the value of women in our industry. They are generally exceptional, and they've probably had to work a bit harder to get into where they are. They tend to want to just really shine, and I really value that and respect it. I had a panel at the Fleet Electrification Forum very recently, which was entirely women. It was Sarah Armitage, it was SJ Mitchell and Catherine Bowen. So I was chatting with those guys. The thing that the debate was hard for me in my own head as to, do I say, look at these are wonderful women, or do I say this is what it should be as normal and say nothing? So I chose the latter, actually. This is normal. We don't need to make a big deal of this because women have a voice and have something to say. It does need women to be bold and to step up. We're always on the lookout for great women. If you look back at our podcasts, a lot of podcasts really reflect the brilliant women of our industry, and be encouraged. Carla Detrue, you got Sarah Papamichalis, we had Fiona Howarth. I mean, gosh, there's absolutely loads. Lorna McAteer, and so on. Sarah, our own Sarah. There are some really strong women, and I feel that it is moving in the right direction. Stats, I get, maybe tell a different story, but the women I see are amazing. They light up our industry and are brilliant partners to work with. So I want to champion it. But I mean, I'm interested. Should a man be promoting women in that respect and doing that sort of thing? I don't know.
Yeah.
Why
No,
should we have to step up?
It's
Well,
a fair question.
It is, but in the same way that because men are stepping up, so men are stepping into the space because they've got ambition, and I think women kind of need to run at the same pace. I guess it shouldn't be. Oh gosh, it shouldn't be. We have to look to kind of go and proactively as I don't know. It's really difficult.
I agree with you, Paul. I think it is difficult, especially from our perspective, and a lot of the comments are absolutely bang on. I would dearly love, to do something very special around this, whether it's a special webinar that we look at women in our industry and how we can promote them, whether we do something in terms of a podcast and have multiple female guests on who can help us to unpick this pretty thorny subject. What is clear from the comments is that it matters. And that we can't continue, what are we now, 50 years after equality legislation came in, still finding inequality in a workplace. And frankly, I don't care whether you're a Martian, green, white, black, blue, female, male, something in the middle. You have a place, and if you do the same work, you should be getting the same pay, same recognition, same conditions.
100%.
You shouldn't have to put up with the misogynistic bullshit that we do in this world, and it's got to change. Apologies for the language. I do sometimes get a little bit aerated. 1027.
Mark is absolutely right. Showcase our women leaders, and I think that is any women leader, and we've tried to through the podcast, definitely. And again, not focusing. Oh, there's a woman, she's doing something, but it's absolutely standing on its own 2 feet is the whole thing.
Yeah, well done, Gary. He's got an episode of his musings which discusses this topic. We need to talk about it more. Keep talking about it. Keep doing stuff as we do with neurodivergence and all the various areas where people are different. We all have our uniqueness, but we should celebrate it. Anyway, 1027, got a wiggle. The vast majority of fleet operators have yet to incorporate artificial intelligence into their operations, according to a new survey from Transora. However, more than a third, 36% of respondents, said they are considering implementing this technology, while more than a quarter, 27%, are currently experimenting or piloting with AI solutions. When asked why they'd adopt AI, 88% of respondents said they'd be primarily motivated by the improvements it could offer to operational efficiency, such as improved vehicle maintenance and predictive maintenance. Three-quarters said sustainability and fuel efficiency were also key motivating factors. Paul, we've got a webinar on the 20th of August with our telematics partner Webfleet and one of their customers who are using AI as part of their fleet operation. You and I both use AI, Paul. Is it the devil, a saviour, something in between? And have you seen it at work in fleets?
Yes.
All of those things.
All of those things. Look, AI is one of those worrying, exciting, frightening, challenging, enhancing things. It is all of those things. As with everything, used in the wrong way, it is terrifying. Used in the right way, it is game changing. We have accessed it, used it. I used ChatGPT very often to kind of review stuff that comes into me, contracts, and often find that there's a lot of balance that can be gained by just kind of utilizing that kind of information, that help. And I think in fleet, I was lucky enough to chair a panel at Move with Webfleet and Halfords, Bosch, and one of their other customers, DAF, actually. And we were talking about how AI is making data into insight much more effectively. I hate data, as everybody knows. Data is a pain in the backside. But if you can take all of that mess that is data, numbers and digits and bits and pieces, what's a telematic? Okay, I'll tell you what a telematic is in a minute. then you crunch those numbers and you produce something beautiful called insight, actions that I need to take. So to Lulu's question, what is telematics? Telematics is a little box, goes in your vehicle often. It can be taken directly from the vehicle because the vehicles are quite intelligent these days. But typically it is a box that goes in the vehicle that produces all kinds of bits of data about how you brake, how you accelerate, corners, if you hit an incident, if there's something wrong with the vehicle, if you're not wearing your seatbelt, all of those things. And it's so much data, so many little numbers and widgets and blah, blah, blah. But if you've got AI, you can start to highlight where danger is going to occur or off-road events or all those kinds of things. And AI really makes a difference in that. And I do think it's going to be tremendous for our industry.
Yeah, I have no doubt about it. 20th of August, we are doing that webinar. You can sign up now. Links are on our website. Right, if you've got any clean transport PR or news stories you'd like us to cover, please send them to us at hello@evcafe.org. Until next Friday, it's goodbye from me and it's goodbye from him. This has been an EV Cafe production. Other sustainability news services. Now you're really going to have to shout loud because it's just, you, me and a few people here. So, right. This has been an EV Cafe production. Other sustainability news services are available. But this is just fodder! The EV Cafe is truly blessed to be partnered with the AA, Webfleet, Europcar, Iveco, Spheri, Schneider Electric, Dynamon, EV Blocks, AW Energy and CPD bodies with the EV Cafe, supporting the transition to clean transport, ably supported by Drax Electric Vehicles. Enjoy the rest of your day and your weekend wherever it takes you. Thanks for joining us. Till next Friday. Bye! Good weekend, twins.
Gary Comerford's a